I am here for accountability. I am here because a system failed my daughter. If not for these failures, I could be sharing a cup of coffee with Stephanie this morning rather than speaking with you all today. When policies protect people who are a known threat, innocent lives are put at risk.
Fairfax County, Virginia sanctuary policies under scrutiny this week as multiple probes launch into the Fairfax Commonwealth's attorney Steve Toscano for giving preferential treatment to criminal illegal immigrants while the county experiences a rash of migrant crime. For more, let's bring in former Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares. Jason, welcome.
Great to be with you. Thank you.
Let's start with the fireworks on Capitol Hill this week when Steve Toscano, the Fairfax County Commonwealth Attorney, was on the hot seat. Let's play it.
A disgusting, perverted individual preying on children, that you dismissed the case. As the father of 2 young girls, one of them's 5. That is as shameful as anything I have seen. Quit defending the indefensible. You clearly don't.
Absolutely
not. You dismissed the case, and it's shameful.
Sir,
you're a coward. You are a coward.
What's your reaction to that showdown on Capitol Hill?
Well, I think what you saw was that Steve Toscano was being called out for being a social worker instead of a prosecutor. He is a left-wing prosecutor funded by George Soros and others left-wing special interests. He's been there and has a policy, written policy, that he was exposed by Chairman Jordan of favoring illegal immigrant defendants over even American citizens, giving them preferential treatment. But I thought one of the most telling moments, you showed the clip from Cheryl Minter, that was a pin drop moment. It was heartbreaking. But when he walked into that room, it was all performative. He tried to apologize to her when the camera was rolling and he was on video. But I was there when he walked in the room. He didn't even barely acknowledge that she was there. He never talked to her. It's sad that a congressional subpoena and camera rolling was the only way that he actually apologized to her for the inaction that he did. And but for his inaction, Stephanie Minter, I'm confident, would be alive today. It was a really shocking moment on multiple fronts, but I am appreciative of the Judiciary Committee for exposing him to America on just how bad and how dangerous these criminal first, victim last policies have been for communities.
Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger's talking tough. Let's play her.
Anyone who is in the United States without legal status, any violent criminal should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And if they do not have legal status, they should be deported. Kind of full stop.
Are her actions matching her words?
No, there's a reason why her nickname is Governor Bait and Switch. It's not what she says, it's what she does. And I would point out the very first executive order she did was Executive Order number 1, overturning Governor Glenn Youngkin's very successful policies in Virginia. And what she did with her executive order, which she did on her first day in office with great fanfare, is that she made Virginia a sanctuary state. She barred the state police from cooperating with federal immigration authorities. And why I find the clip that you played so insulting is that Executive Order number 1, with her signature, also banned the Virginia Department of Corrections from cooperating with federal immigration authorities. If you are an illegal alien in a Virginia prison, that means you are a convicted felon. She, on one hand, tells the media that she thinks violent illegal immigrants should be deported, yet her very first act as governor was to make Virginia a sanctuary state and to ban even convicted felons housed in Virginia prisons for being notified to federal immigration authorities that they're about to be released and be deported. If the legacy media had any credibility whatsoever, they would ask those follow-up questions. You and I both know they do not. Shame on them and shame on her for treating Virginians like we're stupid, because we know what she did her first day in office. And some reporter somewhere should ask her to match her rhetoric with her words and to repeal Executive Order number 1, because there will be more Stephanie Minters that die, more individual innocent Virginians that die because of this misguided criminal first, victim last policy that she championed, and she still has it on the books to this day.
Then there's Virginia Democrats who tried to rewrite the congressional map to go from 6 Democratic seats in the House and 5 Republican to 10 Democrats in Congress to 1 Republican. The Supreme Court stepped in late yesterday. What's your reaction to the Supreme Court basically backing up the Virginia Supreme Court?
Well, I mean, I'm grateful, and it was a unanimous decision. So both Biden and Obama appointees agreed that it was not the Supreme Court basically got it right at the state level. So at the end of the day, what they're trying to do is they did this absurd appeal that had no federal basis whatsoever. The U.S. Supreme Court smacked it down, and they're just using it in this broad attack we're seeing on the U.S. Supreme Court. They first had this harebrained scheme that got leaked by the New York Times to essentially pack the Virginia Supreme Court because they didn't like the ruling. They appealed this, I think, purely for political theater. It just shows right now that they are attacking the courts whenever they make a decision that they disagree with. That is a dangerous, slippery slope, what they are attempting. And I would remind them that their problem really is with the Virginia Constitution. I issued an AG's opinion last year saying this is unconstitutional. They ignored it. They wasted $70 million in campaign funds, close to $10 million in taxpayer fund on this unconstitutional illegal gerrymandering. What they should be doing is the millions of dollars they wasted of taxpayer fund, they should immediately, since they still haven't come up with a budget, give that back as a rebate or refund to Virginia taxpayers, because you were told this was unconstitutional. You were told this was illegal. You ignored it anyway. The Supreme Court of both Virginia and the U.S. Supreme Court stepped in and said, no, you can't do this. Game over. Why don't you give the taxpayer some of the money that you just wasted?
Former Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares, thanks for your time today. Great to see you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.